Yeah. That might be the new intro.
All right. So, hello and welcome to our Military Month episode, or one of them. First of all, next month, we're doing what we call Gatreon, where you can check us out on our Patreon doing fun, queer things for Pride Month. But every June, someone says, why is there a Rainbow Month? When is the month that celebrates veterans?
Oh.
It's May. May does that.
And then you also, guys, you get July 4th, we get to Independence Day.
Well, that's less for the veterans.
No,
That's
but
more
it's
for
still it's still America.
It's still America, yeah.
Right.
But then also Veterans
America.
Day. But Veterans Day is for every veteran.
Yeah.
And Memorial Day is for those who have passed.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I have friends who are in the military, and I would say Happy Memorial Day, and they'd get really upset with me.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to get upset over that.
Not upset, but they were just very corrective about it.
Right.
And just be like, hey, this is in remembrance, not for just veterans in general, which
Right.
is fair, but still
it makes sense.
celebrating.
Right? It makes sense why May is his military month. And Memorial Day is also in May.
Fun fact, my hometown when I was a kid would do a Memorial Day parade, and one year it landed on my birthday, and I thought the parade was for my birthday.
As it should be.
What the fuck?
Who are you, fucking Rapunzel, thinking the lanterns are for her?
And they were. And they actually were. So, spoiler.
And then she woke up.
And then spoiler.
That's the deleted scene at the end. And then she woke up in Mother Gothel's fucking dungeon.
Deleted. I want the director's cut of Rapunzel right now.
The director's cut of the Mandy Moore Rapunzel.
Such a good one.
It's so
They're
good.
doing the live action.
Did you ever watch
with Milo Manheim?
Oh yeah. Did you ever watch it was I think it was Tangled Ever After.
I knew of it, but I didn't watch it. No.
There's fat Rapunzel lore.
Yeah. Actually, total side note as well. My stepmom's brother, so my step uncle, if you'd like to call it, him and his wife got married to the Rapunzel song. That song, whatever that one. They're very Disney adult. They go to Disney every year.
No tea, no shade.
No tea, no shade. But and that's a cute song to get. That's your first dance. That's really cute. Yeah.
No, what is it? Is At Last I See the Light?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Mandy Moore one. Yeah.
Yeah, I do cry during that.
That's such a good song.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, good movie. I haven't seen it since it came out, so I need to rewatch it.
I made my brother download it for me when I was really sad one night in sophomore year of high school. I was just like, you know how to get movies, right? And he's
Please.
Like, yeah. And I was like, can you just give me Rapunzel? Or Tangled.
Yeah.
Because I think I said Rapunzel and he was like, which one?
Yeah.
And I was like,
the new one.
Adjective one. Because all of Disney's movies are adjectives. Frozen, Tangled, Brave.
Are they all?
Most of them.
The Little Mermaid's not an adjective.
Right, you got the Princess and the Frog. Snow White could be an adjective.
Yeah, I mean... Anyway. Didn't we have an episode to film?
Yeah, the one I've been working on for so long. Okay. So I've decided to highlight some stories that get forgotten, just like this month, for military, remembrance. So everyone knows about Wojtek. I can't believe I remember that. The bear that was a part of the Polish troops in World War II. He would carry ammunition, drink beer, and eat cigarettes.
Hey, you know what? That sounds like my grandfather.
My grandfather, too, fought with the Polish troops and ate cigarettes.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So, if you want to learn more about Wojtek, Well, I Laughed actually does a great episode. And that's why I didn't go into him, because there are so many pieces of media that highlight him. And when I did try to start looking into him, it was like no shade to animal rights activists. Animal rights are very important, and you'll see that I think that. But it got very animal rights-y, as he shouldn't have been in the military at all. Right. And I was like, okay, I agree, but I'm looking for the story, his story.
Right.
And, but Well, I Laughed is a great one. So I tried to find some lesser known stories of animals in war, because without man's best friend, the world would be a lot different. Speaking of a lot different, this episode is going to be a lot different. Warning everyone now, it's going to get heavy, and I will cry during the last story. Real quick, a professional trigger warning. We'll be talking about violence in war, injuries, and the death of animals. So if you aren't in that mindset, check out a goofier episode and come back when you need to cry it out. We start pretty lighthearted. My first story is actually pulled from another Well I Laughed episode about Smokey the Yorkie. And I tried to keep it brief because I have a bunch of different stories to share today. 13.
I gave her a 2-hour limit.
I'm trying here. I hope you enjoy the extra long episode, and each story is pretty self-contained, so hop around on those chapters. So Smokey was a Yorkshire Terrier who participated in World War II. She weighed 4 pounds and was 7 inches tall, and she was found in an abandoned foxhole in New Guinea. And she was assumed to belong to the Japanese. After seeing her not understand commands in English or Japanese, they realized she was on her own.
Oh.
And a GI sold Smokey to Corporal William Wynne for £2 Australian, $6.44 at the time. So the GI could return to betting in his poker game. He was out of money, needed some money to gamble. He was like, I found this dog. Will you buy it?
Oh my gosh. Do not.
This little turd. Speaking of animals in war, I'm about to go to war with this animal. All right. So Smokey the Yorkie was sold to Corporal William Wynne, and she stayed with Wynne during backpacking and combat flights. And Wynne taught her tricks because he was a very good, trainer for dogs.
Okay, Caesar Milan.
Yeah, no, and he was self-taught, I believe.
Yeah.
So she even flew on her own little parachute made just for her.
No, that's so cute. Do you have pictures?
I have some pictures, not of her in the parachute.
Okay.
But she would perform her tricks for troops as entertainment, and her obedience came in handy. She ran a 70-foot telegraph wire through a pipe only 8 inches in diameter, with damages inside giving her only 4 inches of clearance at some points.
Oh my gosh.
So this 7-inch tall dog had to squish
7-inch tall. She's so tiny.
She's tiny. And
Yorkies
so
are small.
I know they're so little.
Yeah.
So Wynne said that after her success, they praised her and patted her for at least 5 minutes. So later, Wynne would be hospitalized with dengue fever. Do you remember when we were talking about that the other day?
Were we?
Because your mom was talking about some brain-eating virus, and it
yeah.
ended up being dengue fever.
Yes.
And so Wynne's friends smuggled Smokey into the hospital, where she realized her new potential, comforting those struggling with injuries.
Aww.
Smokey would sleep in Wynne's hospital bed every night, and in the morning, nurses would pick her up and bring her on rounds to cheer up other patients. The assistant field director of the Red Cross, Barbara Wood Smith, wrote Smokey a letter after a trip to the U.S. Navy 109th Fleet Hospital. It's long, but it's so cute. Dear Corporal Smokey, it's been several weeks now since you visited our hospital, and I suspect by now you and Bill are back at work. You should certainly feel a nice warm glow of satisfaction at all the pleasure you brought to the patients here at our hospital. They enjoyed your visit so much and are still talking about you. Some of them are boys who have lain in bed for months and have gotten very tired at looking at nothing but 4 walls and other sailors. We know that laughter is something that helps people get better, and you certainly administered enough of it here to improve the health of any number of our boys. May we congratulate you for being that almost unheard of combination, a lady artiste without temperament. You entertained in 8 wards that one afternoon and seemed just as full of energy and just as obliging at the end of your tour as at the beginning. The boys particularly liked your dead dog act and the way you jumped up and streaked after Bill when he gave you the word. We think that you're a wonderful morale builder, and we hope that you'll have the opportunity to entertain a lot more boys later on, go back to Bill's home in Cleveland, and carry on the good work there. There's always a welcome for you here where you and Bill will be pleasantly remembered. Sincerely, and thanks from all of us, Barbara Wood Smith.
Cute.
So, after her service, Smokey spent time with Wynne, traveling the nation to show off her skills and bring joy to people struggling. She was often regarded as the first therapy dog, an interesting title for a Yorkie. In 1957, Corporal Smokey passed unexpectedly at the rough age of 14. Rough. Wynne buried her in a world...
I'm sorry.
Damn it!
I'm sorry.
Wynne buried her in a World War II 30 caliber ammo box, and 50 years later, Smokey was remembered as a life-size bronze statue of her sitting in a helmet placed directly on top of where she was laid to rest. Her memorial is dedicated to Smokey, the Yorkie Doodle Dandy, and the dogs of all wars.
That's cute.
So this is Smokey. Can I present this?
Let me see.
So this is
Oh
Smokey.
my goodness.
So that's
so
her
derpy.
in her little helmet, and that's Win.
Oh my god.
Nicotine?
Yeah.
No,
Holy
he does.
shit. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. He's cute.
If you've watched Hearts Are Farts, you should know who that is. I think I talked about him.
Oh my god, look at how fluffy they made it. That's so cute.
So freaking
I didn't realize
cute.
you meant like in a helmet. I thought you meant she was like wearing it.
Yeah,
No, that's adorable.
Yeah, no, she's inside a little
Oh my
helmet.
God.
It's so cute.
She's so derpy.
She's so silly. So, another doggeroony that had a story to tell was Stubby,
Stubby.
who participated in World War I.
Okay.
A World War I bull terrier that wandered onto camp in New Haven, Connecticut. He was an official ranking sergeant, but started as the mascot of the 102nd Infantry 26th Yankee Division. Although pets were banned from the camp, Stubby found a home with Private J. Robert Conroy, who smuggled him onto the USS Minnesota. They departed for Europe, and Stubby remained on the front lines with the team. Although he started as a morale-boosting buddy, he quickly became a valued member of the troops. Surviving a gas attack, he was able to then detect trace amounts of gas and warn troops about danger.
Wow.
Stubby would locate wounded men in the field and even helped apprehend a German spy. Holding the spy in his teeth until men could detain him, Stubby was a tiny little hero. After the spy's successful capture, Stubby was promoted to sergeant, being the first dog to ever receive a military rank. On another mission, an attack on a German-held town, the infantry was under grenade fire and Stubby took shrapnel to one leg and his chest. After receiving medical care, he roamed the hospital, boosting morale. He returned to the field, and by the end of World War I, he was a veteran of 17 battles. Stubby lived the rest of his life with Private Conroy, going to Georgetown University, becoming their mascot, and passing away in 1926 at 10 years old. Stubby is currently in the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History,
Oh.
taxidermied.
Oh. So we're going?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a couple museums we're going to have to hit them.
Oh, there's so many museums we talk about. There's so many places we gotta go.
So, Stubby is known as the grandfather of war dogs and is frequently honored. Conroy passed in 1987, but spent his whole life talking about his best friend Stubby.
Oh.
So this is Stubbifer.
Stub of fur.
Sergeant Stubby.
Oh my goodness.
This little guy in his jacket.
God.
He's got his little jacket and his gas mask.
Oh my god.
And this was him being awarded. This is when he was promoted to sergeant.
Cute. The little gas mask looks so cartoon. Like it looks
No,
like
right?
it looks fake. It's so funny.
Little puppy gas mask. All right. Yoink. So most people loved the animals they served with, and not everyone was a dog person. Those who took their cats to war had interesting and differing results.
Yeah.
So Pooley was a World War II cat. Princess Papule is her full name.
Okay.
When we were at Taco Bell on our way to JVB and I put Papule in as the last name, I was like, I just did a story about it.
And then it wouldn't let you.
Yep, and then it only did a last initial. So we were Monique P. Princess Papule was brought along an attack transport vessel by her owner. She witnessed battles across the Philippines and Iwo Jima, but whenever the battle station's alarm rung, she would run into the mailroom and curl up into a sack. Her most dangerous moment was not from battle, but instead on their way home. The sailors feared a quarantine due to the cat, so they tried to throw her overboard. But she was given round-the-clock guard until the ship docked and she made it home safe. She was awarded 4 battle stars for the 4 battles she hid in the mailroom for, and she lived a long, happy life. When she was 15, her family fit her into her uniform for her birthday celebration in 1959. So this is the only picture, but that's her when she was 15 in her little jacket.
Oh my god. Cutie.
Such a little cutie.
Imagine Beanie and Luna at war.
I've been thinking about that more and more, and every time Luna does something, I'm like, maybe you could be trained, but you're also so dumb.
Luna's so stupid.
She's so dumb.
Beanie's too skittish.
Yeah, no, Beanie would hide in the mailroom.
Yeah. That makes me think of the time that when I was living in the dorms at school and the fire alarm went off and I wasn't home and all the girls that I lived with had to get Beanie and she jumped so far, like everywhere, all over my desk that she knocked over like a bunch of shit and broke it all.
Love that.
So I just like have that image in my brain.
Of course.
Sometimes.
Now imagine that on a boat.
Yeah, exactly. I think she loves water. Like I honestly think she would do a bath pretty well.
All right.
So
Interesting. So why do sailors love cats? I never realized it, but aside from being rodent control, kitties were considered good luck at sea. Cats are hydrophobic, so the ship can't sink?
yeah.
I don't know, but sailors fucking love cats. And it makes sense why I also feel the need to buy a boat, but also acquire as many cats as possible.
Yeah.
Unsinkable Sam, or Oscar with a K,
Cute.
the German spelling, was a little tuxedo cat who was aboard the Royal Navy ships during World War II. This cat's records weren't kept on the Bismarck, and when the ship sank after a naval battle, he was found floating on a plank a little ways from the wreckage.
Bismarck?
Yeah.
Talked about that in our last episode.
Yeah. The HMS Bismarck.
Yeah. That's my mom.
Yeah. So he was picked up by the HMS Cossack, who named him Oscar, after the letter O in the code of signals for man overboard.
We're very topical. Every time that you talk about something, I have the same things to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a few months after the shipwreck, the Cossack was torpedoed and sunk, and although 159 crew members died, Oscar survived.
Wow.
The crew that was left was transferred to the HMS Legion, and Oscar was nicknamed Unsinkable Sam. He was transferred to the aircraft carrier that sunk the Bismarck originally, and a month later, the Bismarck was torpedoed. Oscar was yet again set afloat at sea. The crew was transferred to the HMS Lightning and the Legion, but Oscar was pulled from battle because they thought he was bad luck at this point. I mean, obviously, this cat has been on 3 ships that sunk.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy, you gotta go.
So he was sent to the offices of the governor of Gibraltar, but was eventually sent back to the UK to live in Belfast at a place called the Home for Sailors.
Okay.
Sam passed in 1955, but his memory remains alive in a pastel portrait by Georgina Shaw Baker. This portrait is currently in possession of the National Maritime Museum. But yeah, he was a sailor, and he couldn't live in the office. He didn't like living in the offices, so he went and lived with all his sailor buddies.
I just am picturing this cat with a paper hat, like a boat hat. Okay, speaking of,
Right?
sometimes you want to be here, sometimes you don't.
I also have a theory, because if you look up Unsinkable Sam, he comes up, the first picture that comes up is actually a different war cat.
Oh.
That looks exactly similar to him, and I will be talking about him later. His name is Simon.
Okay.
So his picture comes up, but Georgina Shaw Baker made this painting.
Okay.
And I believe she had met him as a cat. Okay. I should have looked into that, but the picture, because I was like, okay, is this Unsinkable Sam or is this Simon? The picture that shows up for him has a little white thing going up the side of his face. Mm-hmm. The painting by Georgina does not.
Right.
So I think the other cat is Simon.
Right.
And this is the only photograph they have of him. So that's Unsinkable Sam.
All right.
Little sweetie pie. So most cats were chill in the face of war, and some took their duties personally.
Duty.
Yep. Private First Class Hammer saw his teammates as family, and his teammates returned the feeling. So Private First Class Hammer is the name of this cat.
Private First Class Hammer is crazy.
So he was an Egyptian Mao found in Iraq in 2004.
Okay.
Private First Class Hammer was named after the Team Hammer.
Yeah.
The members of the unit said he was a stress therapist, and when folks would come back stressed and tired, Hammer would bother them to lift their spirits.
Sounds like this one.
Right? The little kitten, who was born on the base, earned his ranking after taking down 5 mice in the mess hall. In exchange for his mercenary skills, the soldiers would tuck him into their body armor during artillery attacks.
No.
The unit viewed Hammer as one of them, and when they were told to come home, but to leave him, Hammer's main caretaker sent an email to the Alley Cat allies, who raised $2,500 for Hammer's veterinary costs, travel fees, and paperwork. Hammer left with the unit, was taken care of by Alley Cat allies, and returned to his caretaker, Sergeant Rick Boosfield, who met the kitty at the airport.
Cute.
Private First Class Hammer passed in 2015 after a long life with the Boosfield family.
Bye-bye.
So that's Private First Class Hammer, little Egyptian vow.
Aww.
And this is Rick. It's very, very grainy. Can I have a shred of pixel, please? But yeah, so that's them reuniting at the airport. So sweet. I love... Even Private First Class Hammer makes me a little... I love him so much. So I honestly don't know how to transition to this one.
Apparently she does.
It's weird. But I did the research, and there's nowhere to put it that makes sense. And this always happens, and that's why it's a deep dive. Wait. Deep dive. Whale, whale, whale. I just found my transition. So, Hvaldimir.
Hvaldimir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hvaldimir, well, I think it's actually just Valdmir, but I feel like I need to add an
Voldemort?
extra syllable. So, Valdmir was a beluga whale spotted in northern Norway in 2019. He was around 13 feet long and 2,000 pounds.
Holy poop.
Allegedly wearing a camera harness, brushing up against boats in order to free himself. This harness read Equipment St. Petersburg, and if you don't know where that is in Russia. I did not know that. And the fisherman that noticed him assumed he was a Russian-trained spy.
That's so
The
funny.
fisherman removed the harness and named him Valdmir. A portmanteau. Do you know what that is?
No.
I didn't know what that meant. It's when you smush two things together to make it funny.
Oh, okay.
So it's a portmanteau of Val, the Norwegian word for whale,
Okay.
and Vladimir, after the Russian president.
Yeah.
So he's just a whale president.
Yeah, true. True.
Whale Vladimir. But yeah,
That's my whale president.
yup. So once freed from his harness and sent back to the ocean, Voldemir kept returning to the boats for snacks and to play fetch. He even returned a kayaker's dropped GoPro and was found playing with an underwater drone.
Oh my god.
He liked getting pets and would come when called.
Oh.
The public loved Voldemir, and tourism boomed because of the beluga. The Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries was like, hey guys, can we stop playing with the whale? We want him to, survive and, find his own food.
Right.
And Voldemir was planned to be relocated to a sanctuary, but once he was hunting for his own food, they decided to leave him be, as a fun little guy just hanging out in the harbor. But food was still scarce due to fishermen, and it was obvious Voldemir was malnourished. People were seen feeding him, but some people were harsher, seen throwing things at him and shoving things into his mouth. One whale was founded to advocate for Voldemir's protection, and they made plans to transport him to a wild beluga population in the Arctic. Within weeks of his planned transport in 2024, he was found peacefully floating in the waters outside Norway. Voldemir was between 14 and 15 years old, where the lifespan of a beluga's is closer to 30. Many people believed it was not a natural death, that he had bullet wounds,
Oh.
and that this was someone blocking his move. However, any reports do not mention visible injuries on the outside of the beluga. A necropsy found no bullets or evidence of human interaction when it came to his immediate outward injuries. However, there was a stick lodged in his mouth, causing what police report as a bacterial infection from mouth injuries that Voldemir had succumbed to. So after his passing, it was announced by different Russian officials that he could have been either part of a zoological tracking project or a therapy whale for disabled children, but these were never confirmed. And also, no tea, no shade, do whatever you want, but wouldn't you say that when they're accusing you of having a Russian spy whale? Not after he's dead?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Why didn't they figure that out?
right? Like, you guys should have told someone that sooner. Because if it's like a Russian therapy whale, like, first of all, therapy whale.
That's my band name.
But they're, like, so friendly, I guess, that, like, you can, it's kind of like...
Yes, but it's just, like...
It's weird.
Yeah, like, it's not very accessible, I feel.
Right.
I feel like.
Yeah. Maybe it is in Russia.
Hey, you never know.
So, all the animals I mentioned so far are very interesting and in many situations heroes, but none were recognized for their successes in the service. The following animals have been officially recognized for their contribution to war efforts. Sergeant Bill!
Yeah.
Sergeant Bill, or Sergeant Billy, was a Canadian goat who participated in World War II. Oh, I forgot to show you Volmir.
Yeah, please. I would love to see him.
Because I have pictures of everyone. Again, grainy as shit because I guess Norway films on potatoes, but yeah. So that's him. Oops. That's him on the water, like peeking up to say hi to the fishermen. And that's him with his little harness on.
Cute.
Yeah.
Sometimes Canva makes the pictures grainier.
All right. So Billy was a Canadian goat who participated in World War I. He was trained with his unit and was an able soldier, but when it came time to head out, the colonel said Billy had to stay home. His fellow soldiers bought a crate of oranges, ate all the oranges, and hid Billy inside of it. Billy made it to the front lines and was a morale booster, but he was also a troublemaker. He was known to munch on important documents, and he faced court-martial 2 separate times for destroying important documents.
Oh my god. Now imagine you're in this courtroom and you're like,
right?
Hey, so this goat ate the important documents. Is crazy.
I got it here. So he made a snack of the personnel roll, so like their attendants, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the second time was actually for an altercation with another officer. He headbutted the guy. And the officer was like, I'm taking you to court for this.
Instead of my dog ate my homework, my goat ate my war
Military,
papers.
yeah,
my war
literally.
papers.
Yeah. He could warn soldiers of incoming shells and even push teammates out of the way of the incoming shells.
Like what was his like?
So I think he could hear, a common thing with these animals seems to be that they have an experience like Stubby, who, like, he survives a gas attack, and then because they have such good hearing and smell and stuff, it's like they recognize the beginning stages of that traumatic thing, and they're like, this was traumatic for me, these guys aren't going to make it.
But, like, how do they, like, what's the signal to the human to be like, do you know, like, yeah, they can hear it, like...
Billy?
Yeah.
Knocked these guys into a ditch. He ran them the fuck over.
Oh my god.
They would have died.
Oh my god.
There was a artillery blast coming from above. He heard what I assume is he heard the
yeah.
And then when he could tell it was coming closer to them because his hearing is so good, it was literally within seconds that he headbutted 3 guys out of the way.
Imagine you're just like standing there and you're gonna get hit with a fucking you're gonna get blown up and then this goat's just like, here you go.
Right?
That's crazy.
So, Sergeant Billy was awarded the 1914 Star, the General Service Medal, and the Victory Medal, which...
As he should.
Yeah, I believe he was part of a European troop, so those medals will not come up again.
Okay.
But very high-ranking, solid medals. So, Sergeant Billy retired and went home to his owner, Daisy, who was happy to have him home. She was a little girl when they took him for the war.
Oh.
And she was like, I guess, but will he come back? And then they trained him and everything, and then he came back.
Cute.
He saved men and came back. So, a war goat, wild.
Yeah.
A little, oh, wait. I have pictures of every single one of them.
I need to see them. Don't forget.
Oh, that's not you. Where's Bill? Where's Bill? There's Bill.
Bill.
Oh, this science guy. So that's him in his little coat.
Cute.
And then this is his, like, squad teammates.
Squad up.
Yeah, so those horns would fucking hurt.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I'm surprised you didn't die from getting headbutted.
Yeah.
Like
a stab wound, yeah.
Yeah. So, a war goat, wild. A little less wild, the wild stallion often used in military efforts. However, this was no stallion. This was a beautiful mare with a gorgeous coat. Reckless the horse was a hero, but also a goofy little lady.
Okay.
So Sergeant Reckless was a war horse who participated in World War II, who was sold for $250 by a stable boy who needed money to buy his sister an artificial leg.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was a really weird piece of information for the Wikipedia page to include. So I was like, I'll include that. And then later on a different site, I found out that it was because of the war efforts, this stable boy's sister was a civilian casualty, basically, and she lost a leg.
Oh, okay.
And so this was his prized possession horse. This was his favorite thing in the world.
Oh.
And he wasn't going to give her up, but because his sister needed an artificial leg.
Yeah.
So that's why it's included.
Gotcha.
So she was bought by the U.S. Marine Corps, where she could roam the unit's camp, sleep in their tents, and would eat just about anything.
I wonder, this is like kind of a side note to your story, but like, I wonder if these stories are like told to like Marines and things. Like, I wonder if like my friends would know what you're talking about, like if I brought it
Right?
up.
That's a good question, actually.
I'm going to ask them.
Yeah. They'll know about the last story.
Okay.
They have to.
Okay.
If they don't, then we have a problem
I'm going
in
to
our
ask her,
military system.
I'm going to ask her.
Okay, so she would eat just about anything, including scrambled eggs and pancakes with her morning coffee.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
With her morning coffee.
Yeah. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And one time, about $30 worth of poker chips. Blankets and hats were not safe around her if she was being ignored. She would munch them right up.
Oh.
If you weren't giving her attention, she would eat your hat.
Oh, well, hey.
So when it came time for work, she would supply ammunition to the unit in battle and evacuate wounded men. She could remember routes after just a few times, being able to make these runs by herself without a handler. During the Battle for Outpost Vegas, she made 51 solo trips to resupply units. She carried 386 rounds of ammunition, about 5 tons, and walked over 35 miles, all while being fired at from enemy lines. For this, she was promoted to sergeant. She received 2 Purple Hearts, a Good Conduct Medal, a Presidential Unit Citation with Star, National Defense Service Medal, a Korean Service Medal, a United Nations Service Medal, a Navy Unit Commendation, and a Republic of Korea Presidential Unit Citation.
Is this the most decorated animal
I
of
believe
war?
she might be. As well as posthumously awarded the Dickin Medal, as well as the first Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery. There are 6 national monuments dedicated to Sergeant Reckless.
Wow.
And she's honored and remembered by many even today. So now I'm going to give an explanation of the medals.
Okay.
First, I'm going to show you Reckless.
I would love to see her, yeah.
This little princess. Oh, look at how cute she
Okay,
is.
queen. Look at that little back leg.
Right? And then this is one of her statues.
Cute.
It's huge. Like, that's the height of a person.
Yeah.
It's massive. But yeah, so then I got this guy that is just all the medals. So you've got your Silver Star and your Dickin Medal and your Purple Heart.
Yeah.
And your Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery, the longest fucking name ever for a medal. So
We should get an acronym for that.
I've been calling it the AWPMB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Dickin Medal was established in 1943 by Maria Dickin, the founder of the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. This medal was said to be the Animals Victorious Cross, which is the UK's Medal of Honor. It's the highest honor one can receive for gallantry in the face of an enemy. So, yeah, our Medal of Honor is what the US calls it, and that's just like the top award you can get. And then, yeah, so that's the equivalent of the Victorious Cross in England, and the Dickin Medal is from the UK. So, the Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery is an American award, and it was established in 2019
Okay.
just to be the equivalent of the Dickin Medal.
Okay.
It's often compared to the Silver Star, and it was given to animals who showed extreme bravery and ability. So the Silver Star and the Purple Heart are both human awards.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had a question about this. You might not know the answer, but you might also know the answer. And I assume this is the answer. So, like, the horse got the awards, but obviously the owner of the horse technically like has like the awards, right?
No.
Like they like
No, it's the horses.
right, but like was the horse wear them?
Yeah. Yeah, on her jacket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like who? Like she's got a handler.
Yeah, but then her medals would go to like a museum or she's.
Right.
I forget if she's texted.
But like some okay. I just mean like never mind. I just
But
meant,
like to own, like to hold on to.
yeah, like someone's like has like takes care of her like her stuff and like puts
Right,
it
like
on
yeah,
her,
I would
like,
assume.
yeah. She doesn't put it on herself.
Right, but it's also, it's less of a, because she's a horse, it's less of a pet situation, and she probably has rotating hands.
This is true. This is, yeah.
So she probably has a stable where all her stuff belongs.
That makes sense.
So the Silver Star and the Purple Heart are both human awards. And the Silver Star is awarded for gallantry in the field, and the Purple Heart is given to soldiers who showed such gallantry and were injured or killed. So that's the only difference between, well, I mean, there's probably more differences, but that's the main difference between the two. So I'll get into it later, but basically, animals are no longer allowed to get people awards.
Okay.
That's why there's so many animal awards now.
Okay.
The following stories include our furry or feathery friends who were officially recognized by these medals. Cher Ami. Cher Ami was a male homing pigeon who became famous after his service in World War I. Cher Ami was one of 600 birds donated to the Pigeon Service, meant to communicate with troops on the fields. Cher Ami was one of 8 pigeons part of their infantry, and the troops entered a ravine. This is the story of the Lost Battalion, by the way, that was not clear. So they sent 2 pigeons out with notes that asked for artillery aid. The troops are in the ravine. The battalion is in the ravine, and they're like, we need help. So they sent 2 pigeons out, homing pigeons, to go back to their place. So after sending these pigeons out, 554 men of the unit were cut off and trapped. They sent 2 more pigeons out to explain the situation, as they were running out of rations, medical supplies, and they were losing men. 2 days later, they sent out another pigeon. And then the unit started getting attacked by mortars and gunfire, and another pigeon was sent. They had 2 pigeons left, and when a different unit from the same side thought they were helping, but they were just shooting at the battalion. So these people were in the ravine, and there's this other like squadron or whatever on the other side, and they're like, oh, those are people, they're probably going to go attack our people in the ravine. Pew, pew, pew. But those are your people in the ravine.
Yeah. Cool.
So they took, the battalion took out their last 2 pigeons and sent a note that said, we are along the road parallel 276.4. Our artillery is dropping a barrage directly on us. For heaven's sake, stop it.
Please stop.
As they put the note in the capsule to attach to the bird, a shell went off and one of the pigeons was startled and flew away. All that was left was Cher Ami, who got the note tied to his little leg and was sent off on his way. This pigeon landed on a branch not very far away.
Of course.
So the men were like, go, bird, go, trying to shoo him. And when Cher Ami took off, he was shot down. He managed to take flight again and made it to their division headquarters.
Oh my gosh.
By the time the men were rescued, only 194 were left, and they became known as the Lost Battalion. Back at headquarters, they managed to bandage Cher Ami. He was shot in the breast as well as in the leg, as well as his leg was only being held on by a ligament. He survived and made it back home to the United States, but eventually succumbed to his wounds in 1919. Cher Ami is taxidermied at the National Museum of Natural History, and in 2019 was honored for his service with a medal, the Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery. They honored 3 hero pigeons, Cher Ami, Mocker, and G.I. Joe. Mocker was a World War I pigeon. He successfully completed 52 missions before being injured, sustaining injuries to one side of his head due to a shell splinter. And with only one eye and clotted blood filling his head, He still delivered 33 messages after that during
Holy
the war.
crap.
G.I. Joe earned the Medal of Bravery in 2019 along with Jeremy for his swiftness in action. He flew 20 miles in 20 minutes to cancel a scheduled bombing, saving British troops who had already entered the city. So, yeah, they attached a note to him that said, can you stop bombing? Don't bomb here. Your troops are here now. They just came in. They just showed up. So don't do that. And this bird, and saved the whole troop from being bombed.
Go Jeremy.
Yeah. That was G.I. Joe.
Oh, sorry. Go G.I. Joe.
I also said Jeremy went back home to America, but Jeremy was a French pigeon. I don't know why I said that.
You're a liar.
I am a liar. Because G.I. Joe was the only American-born pigeon. So he was the...
American-born pigeon is my band name.
Yeah. He was the first and only American recipient of the Dickin Medal in 1946, maintaining this title until Luca the Shepherd Malinois received the award in 2016. These pigeons of war were taxidermied and now live at various museums.
Pigeons of War is a good band name, too.
Right? So these are the pigeons of war. So that's Jeremy.
Cute. He's so sparkly.
Right?
He's like shimmery.
Right? That's Mocker.
Mocker, I heard.
And look how proud little G.I. Joe is. He's such a proud little fella getting his medal. I love him. And then this was a headline. Jeremy, the pigeon that saved the Lost Battalion. For heaven's sake, stop it. The life-changing message Jeremy carried through the enemy fire. I do have to throw in this disclaimer that some people say that it was not Jeremy who did this. They say that most of the pigeons got mixed up by the end of it. So they say this most likely it could be Jeremy, but they don't know.
Right? They didn't have I don't know. They didn't figure out some sort of tell on
right, because there was something about this story about the leg hanging on by a ligament.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's leg was not that injured, so they don't know if that was an exaggeration or maybe it was an actually different bird.
Right.
So I have a meme for you about the birds.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's how they came back.
Yep. Birds of War are back. So I'm pretty proud of that. I made them look like a 90s rap cover.
I don't know if I've actually seen that episode. I'm going to be honest with
you.
That's crazy. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's literally the gang helps the troops.
Yeah.
The gang. It's when
I just
Dee is pretending to be Desert Rose, and so they put on a wrestling match to help the troops.
There's so many episodes I couldn't even
Artemis is in that one. You would remember the joke about her looking like a grape.
Then no.
Okay.
Then absolutely.
We have to watch
and
that
then
one.
is the veteran kid in it too?
Yeah, that's his intro story.
Oh, then is this the one where they go and they try to harass him when he's sleeping?
No.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's the only
I know
with him.
So the story, real quick, the story behind this is that Dee met him online, and then the first time they ever meet is when he's coming back from war. And then so what happens is he gets off the bus and he's in a wheelchair, and Dee is like, no. So she gets Artemis to pretend to be Desert Rose, which was her screen name, but Artemis doesn't look good in red, so she wears purple, and then she looks like a giant grape. Doesn't work. So basically, Artemis starts making out with the guy, and he starts standing up. And Dee is like, what the fuck? I thought you couldn't walk. And he was like, I twisted my knee getting off the plane. And that was his intro. And she was like, I'm sorry, I want to get you back. And he's like, what are you talking about? What?
Yeah.
And then this whole time, the
that makes
boys
sense.
are putting on a WWE-style fundraiser for the troops.
Yeah, I definitely have not seen that episode.
It's amazing.
All right, that's my watch for tonight.
It's a classic.
That's my show for tonight.
So at the end of Pigeons of War, I read
an early season too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At the end of Pigeons of War, I read that G.I. Joe was the only American recipient of the Dickin Medal and wasn't dethroned of that title until Luca in 2016. Who the heck is Luca? She sounds delightful. I had to find out.
Luca.
So Luca was a little cutie, a German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois mix. She was born between Malinois? Anyway.
Malamute?
Definitely. She was born between 2003 and 2004 in the Netherlands, and she was bought by the Israeli Defense Forces and trained with an American team.
Okay.
She was brought to Arizona for more training and eventually served 2 tours. Completing over 400 missions, Luca's main purpose was to detect explosives. Dogs can detect explosive better than humans because of their sense of smell, and dogs are trained to smell my burp.
They're trained to smell your burp?
Yes. So dogs are trained to smell explosive ingredients.
Oh.
And unlike humans who smell blended smells. So when we smell a pie, we're smelling an apple pie. But actually
It's a bomb made in a pie factory?
Made in a pie factory. So dogs can smell each ingredient of an item.
That's so crazy.
You might be smelling a pot of stew, but your dog is smelling carrots, beef, celery, onions.
Insane to like dissect each smell. That's crazy.
So
Only dogs? Or do you think other animals can do this too?
I'm not sure. Maybe other animals can. But I think dogs are the best at it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Luca, trained to smell certain ingredients of bombs, went on 400 successful missions between Afghanistan and Iraq. In those 400 missions, she found explosives and ammunitions 40 separate times.
Wow.
And there was never a casualty in her unit.
Wow.
On Luca's last mission, she sniffed out a 30-pound IED, but was caught by one detonating underneath her.
Oh.
Her handler had assumed she had been killed, but when seeing her, he was able to immediately administer first aid. One of Luca's legs was badly injured and had to be amputated. She was airlifted to Germany for doggy rehab, and in just 10 days, she was walking again. She was retired after her recovery and lived the rest of her life with one of her teammates. In 2016, she received the Dickin Medal, which received more attention than any other Dickin Medal recipient in the 73-year history. She passed peacefully in 2018 and was posthumously awarded the Medal of Bravery, the American one, in 2019. Her story, like so many other animal war heroes, is now a book.
I feel like this sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
Because this was also like...
Bill is a famous book, Sergeant Bill, Sergeant Reckless.
Maybe that's why, because Sergeant Bill is so, like, I feel like that's a story my dad told me when I was a kid.
Yes.
Like, that's very dad core.
Yes, definitely. I feel like, I feel like it was in, like, an eccentrics book. I specifically remember this one book from 7th grade.
Yeah, like, I've definitely, like, these are very vaguely, I've heard, like, in passing, I've heard these.
Yeah. So dogs have been part of the military for years, and whether they were official soldiers or not. Judy was a sweet little pointer who was simply a mascot for a British ship, and then she became her team's reason to keep going by the end of her service. Judy was a liver and white pointer dog. Wait, I didn't show you Luca!
Oh!
Luca!
Oh.
Oh, no.
Luca!
Look at the baby! The blab!
Oh.
The blab!
Cutesy.
And then with her tripodness, that's her statue.
Cute.
Yeah, this is a good one of, you can see her
Tripodedness.
She's so friggin' cute. I love her. That's her Animals in War and Peace medal.
You just keep knocking shit over?
She's just being a maniac. She said, listen,
She could not be an animal in war.
She said, I have to go to war. She said, let me on the boats.
Yeah. I'm going to war with her later.
So, Judy was a liver and white pointer dog who fought alongside troops in the Second World War. And when I say fought, I mean she was a spunky little lady. She was brought in as a mascot for the British ship, the HMS Nat, which I'm sorry, we're a boat podcast now.
At this point.
Which was a Royal Navy insect-class gunboat. Why the fuck do bugs have jobs?
Bugs have jobs, guys.
It was 12 boats. The insect-class gunboat was 12 separate boats built for small bodies of water. They had a 4-foot draft. So that means this whole boat only went underneath the water by 4 feet.
Wow.
So, yeah. It was good for, like, little...
Yeah. Zipping around.
Yeah. Some crew was transferred to the HMS Grasshopper, and Judy went with them. The Grasshopper found itself at war with Japan directly after the attack on Pearl Harbor. And it was bombed by a Japanese airship, and the crew had to abandon ship. Everyone was marooned on an island where Judy located fresh water for them, and Allied forces planned an extraction. During the trek to the extraction point, Judy was bit by an alligator, suffering a 2-inch cut over her left eye.
my God. Oh.
The delay to fix her up caused the troops to miss the extraction, and they were taken as prisoners of war by Japanese forces.
Oh.
Judy was hidden at first from the guards and met another prisoner, Frank Williams, who shared his rations with her. Judy was eventually registered as a prisoner of war with the guards, which gave her access to daily rations, which this was actually... Frank Williams was sharing his rations, and eventually one night he had sake with the head guard. Over a glass of sake, he said, I think you should make that dog an official prisoner of war. I think you should put her on your roster.
Gosh.
And give her food. And give her... Because now she has rights as a prisoner of war, you know? And the head guard bit.
Heck yeah.
He was like, yeah, she was the first prisoner of war dog.
Wow.
So she would fight off snakes and scorpions in the camp, hunt for food, and distract guards. The prisoners were transferred, and dogs weren't allowed on the transfer ship. So Frank smuggled her in a rice sack, where she laid still for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
In transit, the ship was torpedoed, and 500 out of 700 prisoners of war lost their lives.
Wow.
One of the survivors was Frank, who pushed Judy out of a porthole before sinking, and she helped poor swimmers and the wounded get to safety. Oh my gosh. Frank was then recaptured and separated from Judy.
No.
He had no idea if she survived. So one day, Frank was walking and was hit square in the shoulders by none other than Judy.
Aww.
She was yet again successfully hidden from guards and reunited with Frank. Upon the camp's liberation, Frank took her home, smuggling her on a boat once again, and she received the Dickin Medal for gallantry. And her medal citation reads, "For magnificent courage and endurance in the Japanese prison camps, which helped maintain morale among her fellow prisoners, and also for saving many lives through her intelligence and watchfulness." Judy's bark was the first bark live on air during the Victory Day celebration. So not only was she like the part of the Victory Day celebration, but she was the first ever bark live on air.
Oh.
Like, everyone loved her, and she was a poster dog for animal and children's charities and would visit people who had lost loved ones in battle. Frank and Judy spent the rest of her life together until she passed away in 1950. Frank spent 2 months building her memorial by hand.
Wow.
And Judy was buried in a Royal Air Force jacket. So yeah, I love Judy.
No.
Look at this cute little baby.
You know what job I want? I want to be the one that awards the medals to the animals.
Literally. So.
Oh my God.
Right? Isn't she so cute? That's Frank.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just they're
so
so in love.
cute. No, they're literally like, he's like, this is my doggy.
Yup. And then that, I think she
God.
was being awarded something there, but I can't remember what. But yeah, little cutie. Yeah, so she's liver and white.
Cutie patootie.
Had to figure out what that coat name meant. So this is how bad I was the other night. I'm writing transitions and I'm crying. Judy's bark! Live on air! I would die for Judy! But as we continue, protect your heartstrings, because Simon is about to bat him around like a feather toy.
Uh-oh.
I literally have his title for his story is Simon Second to Last, because he's that good.
Okay.
Simon was a tuxedo cat who participated in the 1914 Yangtze incident. This was part of the Chinese Civil War, which, not gonna lie, didn't really know was a thing. So this war was fought in very lackadaisical terms, between the Communist Party and the Republic of China.
Okay.
The UK was also slightly involved, and when one of their ships, the HMS Amethyst, was traveling to Yangtze, they were bombarded by artillery and forced to withdraw from territorial waters. The HMS Amethyst was traveling the Yangtze in order to replace the HMS Consort, a guard ship for the British Embassy. The British ships had been allowed to pass through since 1858, but at this time they were warned with gunshots to stay away. The HMS Amethyst pressed on, and the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, they took this as a threat. The entire crew was in danger, including Simon the cat. Simon was found wandering dockyards of Hong Kong in 1948. George Hickenbottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Hickenbottom.
Yeah.
Like, that's the actual name.
I mean, yeah.
He was a 17-year-old ordinary seaman. That was his official title, an ordinary seaman.
Yep.
So,
This poor kid.
Hickenbottom, the ordinary seaman. That's my band name.
No, that's my children's book. Actually,
Yes.
that sounds like a book.
Right. Hickenbottom picked up the 1-year-old cat who was struggling on the streets. Simon was underfed, and George knew that their ship had plenty of rats, and this would be the perfect cat to handle their rodent problem. Which, quick personal interjection, what a time it was to just, like, see a cat outside and be like, I've been looking for one of these.
You know, haven't we all?
Yeah, so that's what George did, and he tucked the little baby into his jacket and smuggled him into his cabin. The HMS Amethyst, now with one more crew member, was given orders to relieve the HMS Consort from their embassy guarding duties. This should have been easy, as the UK didn't take a side in the conflict, and they were in the midst of a ceasefire as well. They traveled the Yangtze and were 60 miles away from the city when they received heavy fire. The ship was hit more than 50 times, with the first strikes hitting the bridge, the wheelhouse, and the low power room. Lieutenant Commander Skinner, who had taken a liking to Simon, was mortally wounded in the first few strikes. Simon was assumed to be sleeping in Skinner's cap and sustained serious injuries during the conflict. In the middle of his nap, shrapnel hit the little guy on the backside, and he either ran or was thrown by the explosion. His whiskers were singed, his face burnt, and he crawled into a corner and passed out. The Amethyst was able to evade the fire and took shelter in a creek upstream, but at this point, 19 men were killed. 27 were wounded, and now the ship was cornered. Negotiations began to release the Amethyst, but until these were settled, the crew that was left had to survive on their ship that was now in tatters. Several days later, Simon was seen roaming the deck for the first time. Petty Officer George Griffiths scooped up the cat and brought him to the sickbay. His wounds were tended to, and he was given a slim chance of survival. The doctor recommended Simon hang out in the sickbay to cheer up the remaining crew after seeing so much destruction and 20 burials at sea. The Amethyst continued to keep the remaining men alive, but negotiations had been deadlocked. 3 months after the attack, the Amethyst was still cornered. The warm, humid conditions made the ship's rat infestation boom, and Simon spent his time taking care of the rats and protecting valuable rations. Apparently, the rats were so large that they would attack crew members.
Oh.
These rats would swat at their ankles and bite at their feet.
Ew.
They were so big.
Ew.
There was one rat, a particularly vicious one, named Mao Se-tung. They named this fucking rat.
Yeah.
Because it was such a menace. Simon was promoted to... Oh, wait. Whoop, whoop. Apparently, the rats were so large they would attack crew members. There was one rat, a particularly vicious one. Did I not? What the hell? So they named him Mao Se-tung because he was a fucking menace and would nibble at their ankles. And Able Sea Cat Simon was able to kill him. And that is how he received the name, Able Sea Cat Simon. He got promoted because that's apparently a real rank. So fuel was running low, and rations had been cut in half, and the new captain, Lieutenant Commander John Kierans, had to make a difficult decision. They were going to run for it. On July 30th, under the cover of darkness, they attempted a 104-mile trek to open sea. The ship eventually crossed paths with the HMS Consort, who escorted the Amethyst all the way to international waters. Once the crew arrived home, they were hailed as heroes, including Simon. Simon was receiving fan mail, allegedly more than 200 pieces a day, including cans of cat food and toys.
Aww.
There was so much mail for Simon that Lieutenant Stuart Hett was given the primary duty of cat officer. Simon was placed in routine quarantine for 6 months, and while he was in there, the PDSA decided to award him the Dickin Medal for killing rats and saving food rations, even when he was busted up by explosions. Unfortunately, 2 weeks before the presentation, while he was still in quarantine, he contracted a virus, and due to his severely weakened heart from his injuries, he succumbed to this virus. And at 2 years old, Able Sea Cat Simon passed away.
He's only 2? Oh.
And the nation was heartbroken. As one tribute said, the spirit of Simon slipped quietly away to sea. Some said Simon died of a broken heart, missing his life at sea and his captain, who he would spend his days snuggled in his hat.
Aww.
Simon was posthumously awarded the Dickon Medal, being the only cat to ever receive it. He was buried in the PDSA Pet Cemetery in Essex, England. His gravestone saying, "Throughout the Yangtze incident, his behavior was of the highest order." Your cat ruins moments.
I know, I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't get picked up.
I don't think it is. All right. So that was
Aww.
Abel Seacat Simon, my little love. And now we're on to Chips. Hold on. First things
I need
first.
to see these people.
Abel Seacat. So this is
Oh
little
my
Simone.
goodness.
That's baby Simone when he first got picked up. And then this is him.
Oh,
His
and
cute little
tuxedo
face.
cats always have like a spot in my heart because I had tuxedos growing up.
Look at that
Oh my God, he's so stupid.
He had
looking.
1,000-yard stare. One of his big pictures that comes up, you'll see it in the next meme. But he's got this crazy 1,000-yard stare that is just the cutest thing in the world. So this is my newest meme.
Yeah, yup, true.
Because I looked up that picture and it gave the episode title that it was from. It's Charlie Kelly, King of the Rats. Oh my god. So Abel Seacat Simon, King of the Rats. But yeah, that's his 1,000-yard stare that is just...
Abel Seacat Charlie.
Yep. All right.
His 1,000-yard stare.
So the final story is my favorite, the one that has a hold on my soul the entire time I've been writing this episode. His little face is etched into my head and my heart breaks thinking about the pain and stress we've put animals through in the name of peace. Chips' story is a painful reminder that anyone can be drafted, but you might just be the one to save your entire platoon. Chips, the German Shepherd Husky mix, was bred in Pleasantville, New York in the early 40s. He was given to the Wren family where he fell in love with the daughter of the family, Gail. He would follow her to school and lay under her desk, although at home he had a less than friendly temper. He would chase chickens and even bit a garbage man. In 1942, a program was created, Dogs for Defense, and it urged families to donate their dogs to the war effort. The first intake center was established in Newton, Mass., and a training center was created in Dedham. People would donate their family dogs, and at first requirements were strict. Only purebreds between 1 and 5 years old, weighing at least 50 pounds and 18 inches tall. As the need for dogs increased, requirements became more relaxed. But no chow chows. That was just their rule.
Oh.
They fucking hated chow chows.
Okay.
But their reasoning was they're unreliable, which I'm like, I have heard temperaments of chow chows being fickle.
Okay.
But dogs would be sent home for being too friendly or not being able to complete training, which ended up being about 45%.
Wow.
But dogs that passed the test would be sent to U.S. military bases or into combat abroad. Out of 10,400 dogs that participated, only 1,900 were shipped overseas. So what is that? Fucking 20%?
Yeah.
So Chips, the sweet family dog with some reactionary tendencies, was sent to training, and he thrived. Let me show you a picture first, because you need his little face in your head. Just hold on. Let me open the picture, because I don't want you to see the rest of them.
Okay. Of course. And I gotta zoom in. Oh my goodness.
He's so sweet.
Oh, he's so floofy looking.
He's so precious. Aww. Do I have another regular picture of him? No, I don't.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's his cute little...
He's smiling.
His sweet little face. So John Wren, one of the family members, who was extremely young at the time of Chip's donation, later said, "It killed my mother to part with him, but Chips was strong and smart, and we knew he'd be good as an army war dog." He was sent abroad with the 30th Infantry Regiment to invade parts of Europe. His handler, I wrote Powell, but it's Rowell. So his handler, Private John Rowell, was in charge of Chips during his time in the military, but at times it seemed like Chips was in charge of him. One of Chip's first heroic acts was alerting the team to an enemy ambush, and carrying a phone line from the platoon all the way back to the base so his comrades could call for help. In 1943, Chips was one of 3 dogs selected to provide security for President FDR and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill during the Casablanca Conference, a strategy planning conference. Nothing of note happened here, but it was a good break for Chips, as he would become an even bigger hero shortly. Which also... Who is it? Eisenhower? Is that who it was? FDR. No, it was Eisenhower. Different story. Eisenhower went to pet him when he met Eisenhower and went to pet him, and Chips went... Because military dogs are trained to nip at anyone who isn't their handler.
Yeah.
So Eisenhower, all he said was, "That's okay. I know you're just doing your job."
Oh.
Shut up! That's so sweet! So during Operation Husky, the Allied invasion of Sicily, the platoon pushed inland directly into a hidden Italian machine gun nest. Several American soldiers were hit, and Rowell was pinned to the ground to avoid fire. Chips, being tied to his handler, broke free and sprinted towards the machine gun nest. Chips leaped into the nest, clamping his jaws around the throat of the gunner. The machine gun was knocked over in the scuffle, and Chips was hit with pistol fire as the other members of the machine gunnery turned to him with their pistols, because now no more machine gun fire, causing powder burns and a scalp laceration. The platoon was able to advance and capture the aggressors while medics tended to Chip's cute little face. The same night, Chip was able to alert Rowell to movement outside of the camp, leading to the discovery and capture of more Italian soldiers. The story made newspaper headlines, and Chips was a famous war dog. In 1943, Chips was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, and it was pinned on his collar. He also received the Silver Star and Purple Heart for his injuries. This sparked controversy because medals weren't supposed to be awarded to dogs, but the decision was made that Chips would retain his medal, but no more would be given to animals. Chips would then go on to meet General Eisenhower, who leaned over to pet the pup and was nipped. All he said was, "That's okay. I understand that's what you're trained to do." Chips went on to continue to serve, and his platoon would continually honor him with things like a theater ribbon with an arrowhead, an award reserved for airborne and amphibious assault landings. And I believe Chips was the first dog to participate in an amphibious landing. He received battle stars for every campaign he was part of, totaling 8 by the end of his service. Chips returned home and now a national celebrity, but he unfortunately passed 7 months later from complications of wounds sustained in battle. Chip's story was not only proof that dogs are important for the safety of troops in battle, but it sparked debates about the status of dogs. During the Vietnam War era, dogs became classified as surplus equipment, and they were not valued as they should be. Mm-hmm. Handlers would beg to take their dogs home after the war, and at their own expense, and their dogs would be taken away from them and put down.
God.
This changed in 2000 when Bill Clinton signed the Robbie Law, which promoted the adoption of retired military dogs after their service and outlawed putting dogs down after their useful working life was over.
As they should.
Chips not only saved people in the moment on the shores of Italy, but also saved fellow dogs by starting a conversation about their value in the military. So Chips. So this was him getting his little face all fixed up.
Oh.
His little face, his little...
Just little bandage.
That picture sent me. I love his little face. And then this was him coming home and being greeted.
So
he was in his
cute.
little crate and everyone's saying hi to him. And why are you like this? And then this is his statue. So freaking cute. I am so mentally drained from thinking about Chips. I would die for Chips, and Simon, and Judy, and Private First Class Hammer, and Luca, and every freaking animal that has ever had to participate in war. We militarize our best buddies and send them off without a second thought. But I guess I'm glad these animals were there to save soldiers, or else history could be completely different. Thank you for listening to our episode on Animals of War, and I hope you hug your pet extra tight tonight. Kiss your kitty cat on their soft little kitty cat forehead, and mush your dog's squishy rolls. And if your dog is named after a military vehicle, give him a high five for me. I would like to end with a quote that's found on Chips's statue plaque. A friend, a defender, your dog. You are his life, his love, his leader. He will be yours, faithful and true, to the last beat of his heart. We owe it to him to be worthy of such devotion.
Thank you for watching today's episode. Check us out on all our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. We got them all.
Yeah.
Check us out over on YouTube and or Spotify, wherever you are listening to us. Don't forget to check us out over on Patreon. Next month, we are doing no main channel episode. It is just going to be what we are calling Gatreon. So check us out for a bunch of content over on our Patreon. Thanks.